What's up, guys? It's your boy Stump, and welcome back to another Critical Ops Tips and Tricks video. In today's video, we're going to look at how to hold angles and the difference between holding angles and camping. But before we begin, if you like what you see, hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Don't forget to ring the bell and see when I upload, and follow me on Twitter at StumpDaddy in the description below. Now enough chit chat, let's get on with the video. So, you are probably asking yourself, what does it mean to hold the angle? And to that, I answer, holding the angle is where you're holding an advantageous position near or around a point of interest. That only means bomb sites or choke points where both teams meet. There are a few things that you need to consider when choosing an angle to hold, which are your position, how close or far away you are from the corner, and are you vulnerable from multiple angles. Your crosshair placement, is it too close or too far away from the corner you're holding? And possible escape routes, places you can run to if you miss your shot on the enemy player. First, you need to consider your position. If you're too close to a corner, you will be visible to the enemy first before you can see them. And if you're too far away from the corner, you will be less accurate and miss the opportunity to kill the enemy player. I have a video about positioning in the top right if you want to go check that out. Anyways, I would pick a spot that is not obstructing your vision or blocking your view, that is about medium range, or the same distance you can hit a one-tap with the P250 on an enemy player with no armor. Standing behind cover is a good idea. Just make sure that the object is not wall-bangable. There are a few objects in the game that are wall-bangable. If you don't know what they are, I can make a video about those. However, I would advise against standing next to a wall when holding an angle, because it pins you down in one spot, and we don't want that. As well as where you are standing, you need to be aware of other entrances that the enemies can use. One prime example is on canals on B side. You have B long, upper cafe, and mid connector. You won't see a lot of players go mid on canals because it's the most exposed area on the map, unless you hear them coming from that way, of course. Next thing you need to consider is your crosshair placement. Now, the big determining factor for crosshair placement is your reaction time. That's right. Your reaction time is the time it takes for you to see the enemy player, process what you are seeing, then perform the action of shooting the player. Now, you won't want to put your crosshair right on the corner. No one has instant reactions, unless of course they have trigger bot, or their ping is ridiculously high. Regardless, you can find your reaction time by going on the internet and finding reaction time tests. You can get your average reaction time by simply repeating the reaction test about 10 or so times. Then you can compensate for the movement speed of the player and judge how far your crosshair needs to be from the corner. Or you can go into practice mode, stand and wait for a bot to round a corner, and as soon as they have done so, tap the fire button. You don't need to kill the bot right away, you just need to see where the bot's head is at to determine the approximate position your crosshair needs to be. However, if you are clearing corners, you would probably want to have your crosshair along the corner instead of away from it, because you won't have to flick to the enemy. Now, in both positioning and crosshair placement, you're going to need to hear where the enemy is coming from. Sounding is going to be your best friend when holding angles, because not only can you hear the enemy approaching, but you can also judge by sound alone when they will cross into your line of sight. The only thing that can counter this is if the players are walking or crouch walking, because you make no sounds when doing either. Unless of course you walk over a curb, which can give away your position. Man, that is so annoying. Now, if you manage to find your reaction time and get a good position, but still miss the opponent, then consider this last point. If you're not a very good shot for some reason, then you need to take into account your exit strategy, or where you can reposition for the next shot. If you watch professional Critical Ops players, like myself, if they miss while holding an angle, they will try to retreat to another spot and wait for the enemy to chase them. This is a great way to lure enemy players in for another shot. But before you do so, you need to have an understanding of the map layout and the common routes of the enemy team to determine a good spot to retreat to. You also need to know how the radar works, in case one of your teammates goes down, so you can retreat to his position. It'll take some time to practice getting good at holding angles and reacting quick enough to hit the enemy player before they can hit you. But that's what pubs are for, right? But Stump! Isn't holding the angle the same as camping? No, camping is not the same as holding the angle. The difference is based on the objective each team is accomplishing. The coalition is allowed to hold angles before the bomb is planted, while the breach is allowed to hold angles after the bomb is planted. If the opposite is true, then they're camping. Holding the angle is all about being active. You're usually never in the same spot due to plans changing on either team. In most cases, you will have to fall back when there's more than one player rounding a corner. You could take them all on, sure, but you'll have a better chance firing a couple shots off before retreating behind cover to reposition if they decide to push you. This game is all about tempo control. If you control the tempo, the speed at which the game is being played, by taking battles you know you can take, then you will have more success in the rounds to come. And that's the end of the video. But before you go, could you leave a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Don't forget to ring the bell to see when I upload, and follow me on Twitter at StumpDaddy in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay safe. Bye bye.